Good morning to all of you. Today's lecture is from the chapter Electromagnetic Induction. In today's lecture, I am going to cover the applications of Faraday's law, electric generators, induction stove, transformer. So let us discuss one by one. Now, as we know that Faraday's law gave rise to countless technological applications, the law has far-reaching consequences that have revolutionized the living of mankind after its discovery. Faraday's discovery of electromagnetic induction has numerous industrial, technological, medical, and other applications. Some of them are briefed as follows: electric generators, induction stove, and transformer. Out of these, electric generators and transformers are in your syllabus. Induction stove is just only for your knowledge. Now, electric generators. Now, this you have studied in class 10 also. That generator is a device which transforms mechanical energy into electrical energy. When the axle is rotated by an external force such as falling water or steam, the coil is rotated in between the strong magnets. The brushes, they are in constant electrical contact with these two slip rings. Then electric field or the alternating current is generated. So now let us discuss the principle. So principle is based on the AC generator is based on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Now the construction: two strong field magnets, armature, that is the coil, slip rings, brushes, and the load across which the output is obtained. So when armature is rotated in such a way that arm PQ goes down and RS comes up, then the plane of the diagram, then induced EMF and hence the current is set up in the coil. After half rotation of the coil, the arm PQ comes down and RS goes up into the plane of the diagram. So by Fleming's right-hand rule, the direction of the current in both half rotations is opposite to each other. If one way of the current is taken to be positive, the reverse current is taken to be negative. Therefore, the current is said to be alternating and the corresponding wave is sinusoidal. So when the coil is rotated in between the strong magnets, then the magnetic field linked with the coil changes, and as a result, current is induced and EMF is obtained as an output. Now, after every half rotation, according to the Fleming's right-hand rule, the direction of the current changes, and as a result, we obtain the alternating current. Now, let us derive the expression for the EMF induced. Now, when the coil is rotated with the constant angular speed W, now just as shown in the figure, this is the coil, and when the coil is rotated with a constant angular speed omega, the angle between the magnetic field vector, this is the magnetic field vector and n cap, that is normal to the coil, is the area vector. So angle between the magnetic field and the area vector of the coil is theta is equal to omega t. Then the flux changes, and the flux at any instant t is given by phi is equal to BA cos theta or BA cos omega t. Now from Faraday's law of EMF, the induced EMF will be E is equal to minus n d phi by dt. Putting the value of phi from here and differentiating it, we reduce the result E is equal to NB omega A sin omega t. So the EMF induced, expression for the EMF induced in the coil is NB omega A sin omega t. Now let us see how it is sinusoidal. Now this is the expression E is equal to NB omega A sin omega t, where omega t is the angle theta between the magnetic field and the area vector. Now when theta is 0, now this is the position when the coil, the angle theta is equal to 0. So now when theta is 0, in this case sin 0 is 0 and the EMF induced will be 0. When theta is 90 degrees, so position of the coil will be like this. In this case, sin 90 will be 1 and EMF induced will be maximum, which is shown by this point. At again theta is 180 degree, this is the position of angle 180 degree. In this case, sin 180 is 0, so EMF induced is 0. At angle 270 degree, EMF induced opposite to it, that is minus NB omega, so it will be opposite direction, and again theta 360 is equal to 0. So for a complete rotation, of the coil, the EMF induced is alternating. One way it is positive and for the another half way it is negative. So EMF induced is a sinusoidal. Now let us the second application, that is the induction stove. Now induction stove is a very commonly used in every house. You must have seen the induction stove in your houses or in your school canteen also. It is a black color top on which a cooker or on which any person, it puts the utensils over it, switch on the light, then whatever is kept in the utensils, that is cooked or water is heated. So how it is possible? It is because of the electromagnetic induction. Now, an AC current in the coil in the stove tops produces a changing magnetic field at the bottom of a pan. Now you know that alternating current is changing, so naturally at the bottom of the pot the magnetic field will produce, and that will be the changing magnetic field. Now the changing magnetic field means give rise to a current in the bottom of the pan. So bottom of the pan there is a current is induced, and because the pan has a resistance, so the current heats the pan. If the coil in the stove has low resistance, it does not get hot, but the pan does. So the pan. So if we put a utensil which is made up of insulator, it won't heat up on the induction stove. And also you have seen that on the induction stove only certain type of utensils made of certain materials can be used. So these materials, that is the ferromagnetic material like enameled steel, cast iron, stainless steel, designed for induction, can be used for induction cooking. And secondly, also in induction cooking, the size of the container also is very important to achieve maximum output. Now let us discuss the third application, that is the transformer. Now transformer, you must have seen in your city, in many places the transformers are on the roadsides. So the transformer is a device which converts lower alternating voltage to higher alternating voltage. So when the voltage is lower, then current is higher, and when voltage is high, then current is lower. So in one sentence we can say it is a device which converts lower alternating voltage at higher current into higher alternating voltage at lower current. So the principle is mutual induction. So what is the principle of mutual induction? That is, it is the phenomena of inducing EMF in the secondary coil due to change in the current in the primary coil, and hence the change in the magnetic flux in the secondary coil. So whenever there is change of current in the primary coil, this is a primary coil, whenever there is a change in the current in the primary coil, magnetic field linked with the secondary coil changes, and as a result the EMF is induced in the secondary coil. So whenever there is a change in the primary coil, so listen carefully, there is a change in the primary coil. So it means for an AC current can be step up, or voltage can be changed in an AC current, not in DC current, because the DC current is not changing. The transformer can be used only for the alternating current and not for the DC current. Now this is a step up transformer. Just look at the primary coil. Primary coil, the number of windings is less, and in secondary coil number of winding is more. So just looking at glance, we can immediately tell us that it is a step up transformer, because number of turns in the secondary coil is higher. If the number of turns in the primary coil is higher, then it will be a step down transformer. So step up transformer increases the output voltage in the secondary coil and step down transformer reduces it. So when it is increasing, the number of turns in the secondary coil will be more to step up, and when it transformer voltage is decreasing, output voltage is decreasing, then number of turns in the secondary coil will be less. Now AC voltage in the primary coil causes a magnetic flux linked by it. So an expression can be written as Vp is equal to Np del phi by B del T. Now since the changing flux which is efficiently carried in the transformer coil, this changing flux induces an AC voltage in the secondary coil. So this secondary coil voltage Vs is equal to Ns del phi by del P. So this is the voltage given to the primary coil. Vp is equal to Np del phi by B del T. Now because of this voltage, the voltage is induced in the secondary coil, so expression for it will be Ns del phi by B del T. Now when we divide these two equations, we get the transformer equation. Vs upon Vp is equal to Ns upon Np. So for step up transformer, Ns is greater than Np and Vs is greater than Vp. The voltage is step up. For step down, Ns matlab number of turns in the secondary coil, that will be less than number of turns in the primary coil. Vs is less than Vp. So transformer only steps up. Now there is no wastage of the power, and we know that power is equal to voltage into current. So initial power is equal to output power, input voltage into input current, output power, output voltage into output current. So from this expression it is clear that if input voltage is high, then input current will be low, and from here if output voltage is high, then output current will be low. So we can say transformer steps the voltage simultaneously steps down the current. So if voltage is increasing, then current is simultaneously stepping down. So transformer that steps down the voltage simultaneously steps up the current. Now there are the energy losses in the transformer also. Let us discuss one by one. The first is the copper loss. Copper loss because the winding of the transformer is made up of the copper wire, and copper wire has some resistance. Because of this resistance, it gets heated up and some energy is wasted. So just to avoid this, if we make the copper wire thick or winding using thick copper wires, then its resistance will be less and less heat will be produced, because heat H is equal to I square RT, depends upon the resistance. So less resistance means less heat will be produced and less energy is wasted. The second is the flux loss. Flux loss, that is the coupling between the primary and the secondary is not perfect. Means whatever flux is linked with the primary coil, that must be linked with the secondary coil in case of ideal transformer. But due to the practical situations, it is not practically possible. So for this, a certain amount of magnetic flux is wasted, and this can be minimized by winding the coil over one another. So in this way, flux loss can be minimized. Now iron losses. Iron losses are of two types. One is the hysteresis loss. Hysteresis loss matlab, this is a property because whenever alternating current is passed, the iron core is magnetized, and and it is also demagnetized repeatedly over the cycle. So when it is magnetizing and demagnetizing over a cycle, then some energy is wasted in this process, and this is known as the hysteresis loss. This can be minimized by using the material with thin hysteresis loop. Now this hysteresis loop is not in your syllabus, otherwise it was a complete topic, the meaning of the hysteresis loop, how it is, how it can be explained using how the energy wastage can be minimized here. Now eddy current losses. Eddy current you have learned in the previous lecture. That is, whenever the changing magnetic flux linked with the iron core, eddy currents are set up, and which in turn provides a heat and energy is wasted. This can be used by using the laminated core. So production of the eddy currents can be minimized by using the laminated core instead of a solid iron block. So instead of block, because in laminated core the eddy currents are confined within the lamination and they do not get added up to provide the large current. In other words, the paths are broken and instead of the continuous ones. Now, some losses are due to the vibration of the core. Some electrical energy is lost in the form of the mechanical energy due to the vibration of the core, and humming noise produces, and this is known as the magnetostriction effect. So there is a vibration during the use of the transformer. Whenever transformer is used, so there is a vibration in the core due to which some energy is also wasted, and this is known as the magnetostriction effect. So thank you. That is all for today's lecture.